In this video, I'm gonna rank the 10 best villains from Warner Animations. Keep in mind that everyone has their own favorites, so there might be a few characters that won't make the list. To be honest, if I were to include all the best villains, this would probably be a top 20 or top 15 list. Coming in at number 10, we've got the Brain. Now you might be thinking, a mouse is a villain? But don't be fooled by his small size. The Brain is a super smart mouse who leads a team of lab mice in Pinky and the Brain. This clever little guy has big dreams of taking over the world, and he won't let anything stand in his way. The Brain is always cooking up crazy plans and schemes to achieve global domination, and even though he's tiny, his determination is massive. Plus, his partnership with his dim-witted sidekick Pinky adds a good dose of humor to the whole world-conquering thing. Their dynamic reminds us not to take everything so seriously, even when you're trying to take over the world. At number 9, we have Jinx. Jinx is a complicated character from Teen Titans with some really cool powers. She can actually control probability, which is pretty wild. She starts out as a member of the Hive 5, but eventually questions whether she's on the right side and decides to forge her own path. What makes Jinx stand out is how much she grows and changes throughout the series. She goes from being a typical bad guy to more of an anti-hero, which is really interesting to watch. Plus, her relationship with Kid Flash adds another dimension to her character and shows that even in a chaotic world, there's room for love and second chances. At number 8, we have Cats. If you've watched Courage the Cowardly Dog, you'll probably remember Cats, a creepy villain who loves to cause trouble for Courage and his owners. This guy is smart, sneaky, and always seems to show up out of nowhere, giving everyone the creeps with his spooky voice and laugh. Throughout the show, Cats constantly challenges Courage, pushing him to face his fears and be brave in the face of danger. He's definitely a villain that sticks with you long after the episode ends. At number 7, Him. If you've ever watched the Powerpuff Girls, you'll know that Him is one mysterious and unsettling villain. With long claws, a deep voice, and a bold red and black look, Him just screams bad news. He can change shape, move things with his mind, and even control people's thoughts, making him a serious threat to the people of Townsville. But what really sets him apart is how enigmatic he is. We don't know much about him, and that just adds to his creepy vibe. He's like fear and temptation all rolled into one character. In a show filled with colorful heroes and villains, Him's dark and eerie presence definitely leaves a lasting impression. At number 6, we have Two-Face. If you're familiar with Batman, you've probably heard of Two-Face, or Harvey Dent. His story is pretty tragic. He was once a really good guy, working as a district attorney to bring bad guys to justice. But then something terrible happened that left him disfigured, and he turned into Two-Face. What makes Two-Face such an interesting villain is how he represents the idea that everyone has a good and bad side. He struggles with his inner demons and makes decisions by flipping a coin, which just goes to show how fragile our sense of justice can be. Two-Face's story is a powerful example of what can happen when we let revenge and inner turmoil take over, and that's why he's such a memorable character. At number 5, we have Mr. Freeze. You might know Mr. Freeze from Batman the Animated Series. He's got a pretty sad backstory. His real name is Dr. Victor Fries, and he had a terrible accident that left his wife frozen. He's been trying to find a way to save her ever since, and that's what led him to a life of crime. Mr. Freeze uses his cryogenic tech to pull off robberies and keep working on his research. With his freezing suit and gun, he's a tough opponent for Batman. But what really makes Mr. Freeze such a fascinating villain is that deep down he's motivated by love and a desperate hope to save his wife. It's hard not to feel for the guy, even when he's causing trouble in Gotham. At number 4, we have Slade Wilson aka Deathstroke. If you've watched Teen Titans, you'll know that Slade Wilson, or Deathstroke, is one tough cookie. He's a skilled fighter and a brilliant strategist, making him a dangerous enemy for the Teen Titans. He's got his sights set on Jump City and will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. What makes Deathstroke especially interesting is his complicated relationship with Robin. He sees Robin as a worthy opponent, which gives us a glimpse into his character beyond just being a straight-up villain. With Deathstroke, the lines between good and bad get a bit blurry, and that's what makes him such a compelling character. At number 3, we have Darkseid. Darkseid is a major villain in the DC universe, appearing in various animated shows and movies. He's the all-powerful ruler of Apocalypse and has his sights set on taking over the whole universe. With incredible strength, godlike abilities, and an army of minions, Darkseid is a serious threat to everyone in the DC world. What makes him such a compelling villain is his ongoing battle with Superman and the Justice League. It's like the ultimate showdown between good and evil, and Darkseid is always pushing our heroes to their limits. He's a truly intimidating force and a reminder that sometimes the fight for justice is never ending. At number 2, we have Lex Luthor. You've probably heard of Lex Luthor, Superman's ultimate enemy. This guy is super smart, super rich, and super power hungry. In different Superman shows and movies, Lex Luthor is the perfect opposite of Superman. He shows us what can happen when humans use their potential for evil. Lex is always up to something, whether it's trying to take over the world or messing with Superman's life. He's a shrewd and ruthless villain, and he's got the brains and resources to give Superman and the Justice League a serious challenge. He is a constant reminder that even someone with no superpowers can be a major threat when they've got ambition and smarts. And at number 1, we have the Joker. If you know Batman, you definitely know the Joker. This guy is the ultimate Batman villain. He's wild, unpredictable, and just plain crazy. He's a genius when it comes to crime, but his real calling card is his twisted sense of humor and love of chaos. You never know what the Joker's going to do next, and that's what makes him so scary. His iconic look, with white skin, green hair, and a creepy permanent grin, just adds to his unsettling presence. Throughout different Batman series and movies, the Joker is like a dark mirror to Batman himself. He pushes Batman to question his own morals and often brings him to the edge of his limits. The Joker is a legendary villain that never fails to keep us on our toes.